Hello, everybody. This is Douglas Block. Welcome to your Sunday live chat. Yep, Lazy Eye Ranch. You just got the notice that I'm online. Hopefully, we'll get other people to join us. It is Sunday. What is the day today? I have to go look at my watch. Yes, it's the 10th of June. Wow. My mother passed away in 2002 on this day. Well, happy birthday, Estelle. Maybe you'll join us on the live chat. Oh, Mike Tyson again, Lazy Eye Ranch, you're back, 1JE24. Haven't heard from you in a while, and here we are. Brian W. Yes, thank you, Brian W. Yes, it is, and it's a shame because despite all of the efforts of the Center for Disease Control, the increase in the rate is 25% since 1999 to 2016. Only two other illnesses have also increased: Alzheimer's and death from overdoses of drugs. We all know that reason, the opioid crisis. Alzheimer's, of course, is because the population is aging, but we could do a lot better job at mental health in this country, absolutely, and around the world. Wow. Lazy Eye Ranch, your mom died on June 6th. My mom died on June 2nd. Kuni Pandakar, hey, Kuni from India, big fan of yours. Great. Hey, KIC Bailey. Hey, KI, when are we going to, Kyle, when do we do our next session together? So, I want to start with a disclaimer here before we start and you ask me your questions. Any information I give you is just my feedback, asking questions. It is not medical or psychiatric advice. If you have a question about what medication you should take or whether you should start or stop on or anything having to do with either medication or psychotherapy, I refer you to your practitioners. But I am happy to answer questions and encourage you and tell you that this too shall pass and give you all the moral support I can. Yes, well, yeah, because of work. Well, yeah, my mom passed away in 2002. She was 85, so, not the end of the world. I mean, that's a pretty decent life. Hey, Mike Bordner, yes. So my coaching client, Mike Bordner, you want to tell the audience you tried a new therapy, which is supposed to be pretty good, and so far it seems to have aggravated your symptoms for some reason. I'm glad you're having a better day today, hanging out with Becky, staying busy. Remember, anytime you're feeling like you're in a relapse and you're going downhill, stay busy, stay engaged. That takes your mind off the pain and out onto the world. It's much better. Great. Brian W. I wish the therapists on TV would talk more about cognitive behavioral therapy. I think that would help suicidal people. Well, my big cognitive behavioral strategy when someone is losing hope or feeling despair, 4 words. I did a video called 4 Words Can Save Your Life. This too shall pass. Sometimes people make the statements like, the world would be better off without me. I'm reading a very good book by Thomas Joyner, and that's one of the precursors to people harming themselves. Well, that's a silly statement. What do you mean the world would be better? I'm a burden to others. One of my friends told me that, and I said, no, that's a cognitive distortion. That's erroneous thinking. You're not a burden to me and to Joan and your friends. We care about you. So when you hear people saying that, just tell them no. They're loved and they are no burden. Mike Tyson, you have panic disorder. It's hard to go from the house. Well, I did a video on panic attacks, and so did about 1 million other people. Out on the internet. There's good information, but the most important thing you do is you should be seeing a psychologist or a therapist who specializes in panic disorder. Hey, J. Rose, yep, great. Hello, Serbia. Amen. Jessica Crum, wow, a former part-time coaching client. Hey, did you stay in that chat group with Greg? We haven't heard from him. I have a hard time believing this too shall pass. I was getting a little better, then it had a terrible relapse. Well, recovery is not a straight line, Jessica. We go up, we go down, we go up, we go down. But just as your good mood passes into bad, your bad mood will pass into good. The only thing that's constant in the universe is change. And I'm going to have a sip of water. I'm going to have a fisherman's friend right here. Thank you, One Clear Lou. But how long? Well, nobody knows how long. That's the problem. That's why you have to live one day at a time. Yeah, I think it's just put up panic. Jaros, put in the word panic in the search button on my I think panic attack. Put in the word panic attack in the search bar in my YouTube channel. You'll find it. Little Peace of Mind on Facebook sounds like a good idea. Well, Jo, doing everything you're supposed to be doing, keep doing it. That's all I can tell you. And if you believe in prayer, you know, silent unity has really helped me through some dark times. It's a toll-free prayer number, and I highly recommend that you go on. Except I have to basically able to type. Anyway, it's 800-669-7729. Call them up 24/7. They'll really help you. Versus woman, I don't know what a serial liar is, but if somebody is if you're in a relationship with some person, you probably should be avoiding them, don't you think? Probably a good idea. So I guess the way you get rid of somebody like that is you just don't engage with them. Hey, Becky, how's Mike doing today? Feeling a little better, he told me. Hey, Miss Sarah. Silent Unity is awesome. Hey, Jay Rose, give it a thumbs up for people. Tell the viewers why Silent Unity is awesome. Awesome. Mike Tyson says, Jessica Crum, a little bit at one time. You'll have good days ahead of you. Thank you. Scott Bauer from the UK. Thank you for being here. So Becky, is Mike doing a little better? I hope he is. So far from 6 sessions at TMS has plumbed me back down hard, and I have a weekend off. For treatment, feel a little better, so the verdict is still out on this treatment for me. Yes, that's why you need to talk to the psychiatrist who runs the show. Carlitos, you're from Portugal. Very nice. We have people from south of the border here, from Mexico. And speaking of which, I wonder how Perla Ibanda is doing. Linda Stokes, oh my goodness, it's nice to see you. Wow, it's been a long time. Well, you know, we were here in Oregon. You know, sometimes it gets cloudy for a while. The other night I was wondering, I wonder when the sun will come up. And then it dawned upon me. Somebody said they like my awful puns. Maybe somebody here will say that. Here's a joke from Joel Osteen. I might have told it last week. A couple's going to get married the day before the wedding. The wedding goes up to the minister and said, you know, when you do the vows, just leave out all that love, honor, and obey stuff. I don't really like that stuff. Here's $100 if you just promise to leave that out. Minister takes $100. The next day the vows are being given, and the minister says to the man, the groom, do you promise to kneel down before your wife, give her everything she wants, and bring her breakfast in bed? The husband says, I do. And then he whispers to the minister, I thought we had a deal. The minister hands back the $100 and says, we did, but your wife made me a better offer. My group like that. All right. Lazy Eye Ranch says, serial liars are often narcissists. Best thing is to totally no contact because they will destroy you. My ex is most of my depression and anxiety. Well, I said, and avoid contact, obviously. I love it. I share it with my OPT group, although not religious. It's better than any suicide hotline or immediate therapy 24/7. Yes. Jay Rose, Silent Unity, been going since 1889. I'll tell you, they got me out of a pickle in 96, 97. I'll tell you that. One Jay says, I love your jokes. Well, you like bad puns. We'll try Silent Unity, Jay Rose. Absolutely. Yeah, that was a good joke by Joel Osteen. Well, what do you think about what happened to those poor celebrities, Kate Spade and, Anthony Bourdain? I've been following him for at least 5 or 6 years. I love, has anyone ever seen Anthony Bourdain's show where he goes around the Parts Unknown, where he goes around all parts of the world eating with local cultures, interviewing people, schmoozing, becoming friends? It was an amazing, amazing, amazing show. The guy had a real talent, very charismatic. I wonder what was bothering him so much, that he chose to do that. There's no, usually there's a trigger or something, a breakup, a relationship, financial problems. But as far as I know, nothing. I mean, he did have a heroin addict when he was much younger, but, he's 61 now. So the media, if there is a reason why he went ahead and, did what he did, the media is certainly not telling us about it. But maybe nobody knows, Yes, of course, Becky Bourne. I'm very sad about Anthony. I loved him too. I mean, I loved the show. I didn't know him personally, but he was very big. He spoke out in the Me Too movement. He was very, supportive of women's rights and equality. I mean, he was a really good guy. In Yiddish, we call him a mensch. Anthony Bourdain was a mensch, and so why did he take that action? I mean, it's a mystery, isn't it? I can tell you one thing. For me, every depressive episode I've had, I'll tell you why I felt despair. 3 things. 1, the pain was immense. 2, it never went away. And 3, here's the key, I thought it would never end. I'm reading a really good book in which they say hopelessness is the biggest predictor of suicidality. And hopelessness is a horrible place. Anybody here ever felt hopeless? Lazy Iran says, I heard that Kate Spade avoided getting help for depression because she feared it would go against her happy, bright fashions. Yes, could hurt her brand. Absolutely, I heard the same thing. See, we got to get rid of, Guys and Dolls, one of my favorite shows. Guys and Dolls, we got to get rid of this stigma of depression. Why should people treat depression better than any other disorder? Now, if Kate Spade were going through a chemotherapy treatment, she wouldn't mind talking about it. She'd get a lot of sympathy from, from the cancer movement. If she were going through, even if she were in drug and alcohol recovery, or even if she had a heart condition. But no, depression, it's a disease of the brain, but somehow it's different. This is a shame that this stigma is so still with us. So Kate Spade couldn't get the help she needed. I'm sure emptiness I feel is a symptom of borderline personality disorder. I've recently spoken to someone who could help me separate my symptoms since she doesn't have BPD. Well, I don't know. BPD is a very complicated diagnosis. You definitely got to see someone who knows what they're doing. One Claire Lou. Here it is. You're my savior. I found it really upsetting. Do you think they could still be here if they reached out for help? If I get me thinking it's the only way out and I'm so overwhelmed. Yeah, it's never the only way out. The word only, the 4-letter word only, banish that from your dictionary. It is never the only path. The Christio, hey Douglas, have you beat your depression now? Well, I'm managing it. I haven't beat it. I'll never beat it. I've had it since I've been 6 years old, but I'm managing it. Linda Stokes, we never really know what people are thinking. It's true that money doesn't make us happy. Oh yeah. I don't know what you mean countless times, KSC Bailey, but I forgot the question. Yeah, well, you never know what goes on in the hearts of man, said Sherlock Holmes, one of his great quotes. We always said he was a tortured soul and a deep thinker like Mike. I saw similarities. Wow. You mean Bourdain was a tortured soul? Well, he did have a drug and alcohol habit, so he might have been. I just want to be treated like the flu with care. Absolutely, Miss Sarah. It should be not. Depression should not be treated differently from anything else. I'm tired of people, looking at depressed people as freaks or weaklings. No. As a matter of fact, I said in my book, they're heroes because only a strong person could go through and continue on in spite of so much pain. So let's get rid of this stigma thing. How do you know when you're back to normal, says Brandon Marcos? I'm feeling better, but not 100%. Well, look at the mood scale from 1 to 10. 10 is you're incredibly joyful. 1 is you're absolutely, at the edge of your rope. If you ask yourself, if you're at a 5 or above, you're coming back to normal. You'll get used to it. It took me 9 months to recover from my episode in 2015-16. After I got ECT, left the hospital in February. I didn't feel myself till September. So, yeah, it's going to take a while, but it will come back. Was he embarrassed to get help, Mike Tyson? Maybe he was. The Christio, established presence, do a meditation daily. It's what cured my depression and anxiety. Shit, I'm trying to establish presence now. The Christio, in the last live chat, you spoke the virtues of meditation, and you're absolutely right on the money. It's not the only thing to do, but I think it's a very important thing to do. KIC Billy says the stigma is very hard to deal with. You bet it is. That's why Kate Spade didn't reach out for help. It's still with us, but the only way that we're going to get rid of the stigma is if enough people, especially celebrities, come up and say it loud, I'm depressed and I'm proud. Remember James Brown? But anyway, in all seriousness, people have to speak out when they have a mental health disorder and say it's perfectly, normal. Do you know what? In any given year, 1 out of 5 Americans have a mental health disorder, and 1 out of 2 over the course of a lifetime. Yeah, I think we should wear bandages around our heads and march through the streets. Maybe. It doesn't help to reach out. My sister-in-law happened to be awake at 2 when I emailed my suicide note. She called immediately and talked me out of it 2 years ago. It does help to reach out. Oh, I thought you said doesn't. Very, very nice, Lazy Eye Ranch. Your ex-sister-in-law, I hope, she sounds like a really good gal. I hope you're still in touch with her. Wow, that was really great. At 2 a.m. she reached out to you. See, people do care. People do care. They really do. Let me move this over a little bit, so I'm more in the center. Virtuous Woman, Doug, what's your take on Krauthammer? He publicly reveals he only has days to live. I don't know who Krauthammer is. Maybe you should tell me. Junita, hi Douglas, how are you? I'm doing well. Brandon Marcos, thanks Doug, you're a great help. Sitting between 4 and 6 most days. Oh, excellent. If you're between a 4 and 6, you're out of crisis zone. See if you can bump it up to a 7 every now and then. But if you're at a 6, you are out of the woods. But that doesn't mean you'll stay out. You got to be vigilant and practice your recovery tools every day. Exercise, diet, good sleep, social support, prayer, structure, all that stuff I talk about in my book, which I don't have in front of me. Healing from Depression. Where is it? Oh, darn it. Well, it's called Healing from Depression. You can get on PALS. I think some of you may already have it. But my book is Healing. Yeah, I got to add that to my list of things. By the way, I just want to remind you about 2 ways you can support me in this work, in this ministry. One, you can click on that $ button at the bottom. It's the live chat. And 2, you contribute to my Patreon account, which I'll give you the link in just a minute. Kay Redfield Javison, one of my favorite authors, mentions sometimes one should be circumstanced about speaking of one's illness in some arenas, like a workplace, due to the prevalent stigma. Yes? Oh, did you say circumcised, circumspect? Oh my God. Oh, that was a Freudian slip, was it not? Yes, circumspect is a great word. Yes, right. No, when I was working, I didn't tell my my employer I went to the hospital for a nervous breakdown. He would have fired me on the spot. Bree, why do antidepressants take 4 to 6 years to be effective? Beats me. Talk to the people at Eli Lilly. They'll probably tell you. Lee Tiger, hi Doug. Do you like exercise? Of course. It's my godsend. Running is better than any medication I've ever tried. Well, amen. Amen, brother. Oh, he's a crime. He's a news journalist. He has only days to live. Is that because he has cancer? I'm sure that's the case. I think anyone that has never had a clinical depression can't really understand. My husband thinks I should just snap out of it. I do okay sometimes, but it's a constant battle. Of course it is. Your husband needs to educate himself. Have him read my book. KSC Bailey says, I have the book Healing from Depression, very helpful. There you have it. I'm not quite sure what's funny, Mike Tyson, but so anyway, www.patreon.com/healing. What is it? No, /Douglas Block. I'm confusing that with YouTube. Here we are. So if anybody wants to go to this site, Patreon, type in my name. Go to patreon.com/Douglas Block, or just go to Patreon and type in my name, Depression. My page will come up. For as little as $2 a month, people can become sustaining members of this YouTube channel with me. I know a lot of you are already doing that. I know Lazy Eye Ranch is. I think, One Claire Lou is. Yeah. So, Kristen13, nice to see you. So, I want to get back to this point that somebody made about Kate Spade not asking for help because she was afraid that if she admitted she was depressed, had a mental illness, it would ruin her brand image. You see, that's the way not to think, because 1 out of every 2 Americans has a mental health disorder over the course of a lifetime. People, we're not alone. We are not in the minority. 50% of Americans are feeling crummy, and over the course of a lifetime, so much so that they actually have a diagnosable disorder. So it's okay to tell people you're depressed. Now, I agree, not in the workplace, but in other areas, you should not be afraid to say it. Linda Stokes, I get that all the time since childhood. Very frustrating. What have you gotten? Devin, you're Australia. We have a guy named Kate who calls from Australia. Shoot, it's 5:20 a.m. You're up early. Miss Sarah, for me, writing poetry helps express my emotions, but right after I feel empty, I've used them all up. Do you know why this is? I have no idea, but usually journaling, writing, creative writing is very helpful for the mood. So maybe, I'm not quite sure. Maybe you should write poetry and maybe stop halfway so you have more energy reserved. I'm not quite sure why that is, but Mike Tyson, can you do CBT on your own? Absolutely. Get the book Feeling Good by David Burns. He has worksheets. My book, Healing from Depression, has worksheets. Okay, so look, if you Mike Tyson, if you hear yourself saying, "I can't do anything right. I can't do anything right. I'm a loser," you use CBT and you say, "No, I've done some things right. No, I've been successful." You challenge that negative thought. That's what CBT is. You're supposed to do it on your own. Once you learn the technique, you're the only one who's got control over your own thoughts. Nobody else, not your, husband, wife, mother, father. The most important relationships you will ever have is with your own thoughts. Speaking of which, there's a really good video on TED Talk called "How to Cure Anxiety in 7 Minutes." The guy talks about the fear of uncertainty, the fear of the unknown, and that's what keeps people from acting. And in my video, "The Fear Behind All Fears and How to Overcome It," I say there's a very simple affirmation if you're scared about making a step into the future. And here it is right here. It's 4 words. I can handle it. That's the affirmation. Say to yourself whenever you're worried about making a choice or taking a step where you don't know what the outcome is, or "I can handle whatever comes my way." Or if you believe in, God or spirit, "God and I can handle whatever comes my way," or "the universe and I can handle," or "infinite intelligence and I can handle whatever comes my way." "My higher power and I can handle whatever comes my way," for all you people in recovery. Say that over and over again. Whatever happens in the future, I'll get through it because I've gotten through everything in the past. I'll get through this. That's what I tell myself. I hope that's helpful. Realize I'm fixating about Kate, Robin, Anthony. Yes, well, it is sad. It is absolutely sad what happened. I agree with you. But there's people, every 12 minutes in America, someone does that act. So it's not just them. It's all of the people who are needlessly suffering. I can't access a therapist, so I'm really not sure how it's supposed to get any better. I've tried journaling, but it's only really confirmed that I'm spiraling down for the past 2 years. There's something called Scott Bauer BetterHelp on the internet. It's counseling online. These people are very well trained. You have to pay for it, but you have to pay for a therapist too. Go check that out, BetterHelp. Maybe you can do something with people over the internet. Of course, I do coaching once a week, so you might be interested in my program too. I talk to people in the UK through Skype or FaceTime. But Sarah, there's a lady in pain support group for trigeminal neurology who writes wonderful poetry, but she shares them, love her work, and they help us. Maybe you could share your poetry. Sounds like a wonderful thing, Lazy Eye Ranch. Maybe you guys can exchange email addresses and you can share it with each other. Wow, one Clarice says, I hear the Queen's sister-in-law in Netherlands also took her life this week. Wow, that hasn't made the front page of the New York Times, but it's the Netherlands and, probably in that country. That's sad. Scott, therapy is overrated. Journaling has helped me much more. Well, yeah, I mean, it's everybody, there is no one path to recovery. Everybody's got to find his or her own way. So for some people, therapy helps. For some people, they don't need it. But for me, I've been in therapy since I've been 18. I'm 69. 51 years, a half a century, getting my head shrunk. What do you know? Congratulations, Doug. But it really does help. Rasmus, hey, you're late. That's okay. Better late than never. I used to tell my physics professor when I walked in. 5 minutes late. Well, I don't have my kids' joke book, so let's open this up and see if we can find anything interesting. All right. Oh, yeah. Here we go. If I can find something. The other day, a cartoonist was found dead in his home. The details about his death are sketchy. I used to think I was indecisive, but now I'm not so sure. And finally, be kind to your dentist. He has fillings too. All right, 3 bad puns I got out of my system. Hey, $3 from Tiger, thank you. LT Tiger, thank you for, it's actually £5. Who knows what the exchange rate between pounds and dollars is? Well, thank you. Very kind of you. I really appreciate it. Happy Sunday? Yes. Got any questions, Lieutenant Tiger? I'd be happy to answer them. Yes, Lazy Eye Ranch and Miss Sarah, you definitely should exchange emails uh, and addresses and share your poetry. That's wonderful. Highly, highly recommend it. And again, thank you, Lieutenant Tiger, for your wonderful gift. Really appreciate it. All right. Well, I have a video that I posted last Monday called "How to Interrupt Your Intrusive Thoughts" or "How to Respond to Them," because you know what intrusive thoughts are. They're like meteorites bombarding your brain out of nowhere, and you can't really stop them, but you can respond to them. And one simple way to respond to them is to do what one of the fellows was talking about. God, I'll remember your name. The person who talks about meditation. You just pretend they're like leaves going downstream or clouds going overhead, and just notice them, but don't grab onto them. That's one way to deal with intrusive thoughts. Rasmus A., should you eat even when you're not hungry? Probably not, although if you have low blood sugar, people say you should graze, eat many small meals, but you may want to talk to your nutritionist about that. Usually I eat when I'm hungry. So yeah, talk to your nutritionist or your doctor. Rasmus A., this week mental health, you might be very thin and need to gain weight, but again, talk to your doctor about that. This week mental health got a lot of attention because of Kate Spade and Anthony Bourdain, but of course there were 15,000 people every week. You mean worldwide, Rasmus A.? In America, it's 12 people a day. No, what am I saying? A person every 12 minutes, 120 a day, times what, 7? That's about 840 a week, about 1,000 people a week, a little less than 50,000 a year. Do you know that 25 to 30% increase in the rate since 1999? What are we doing in this culture in America? People are too isolated. People are too busy. People spend too much time on social media comparing themselves to others. We don't have a culture that helps people get their emotional needs met. That's why there's been such an increase in depressive illness and the rate of people harming themselves. All right, Lazy Eye Ranch. I don't write well, but love words and poetry. Good, you guys are connecting. Worldwide, okay. Where do you get that statistic, Rasmus, eh? It's a lot of people each week. That's like about 2,000 people a day. 5 pounds is $6.70. Thank you, virtuous woman. Did you just look that up? Of course, Google gets 37% of every dollar you give me. If you really wanted to contribute to this work, you could go to Patreon, or if you want to just send me even $5 or $10, I'll do it on PayPal. And if you use PayPal and you want to send me some money there, you just go to douglasblock@gmail.com. That's my email address right here. And that's how I can get paid on PayPal. So there you have it. Hey, we have 38 people watching. 2 more and we'll hit 40, an all-time record. Tell your people that, turn on their computers. Yes, I keep thinking about Anthony Bourdain because, my God, he was such a cool person. And, they thought, the French detectives, the French police said it was impulsive. And that's why, it's so important to breathe. Don't give up 5 minutes before the miracle. Things can change in 5 minutes. And I was at the end of a rope on July 14th, 1997. There was a prayer group for me at the Living Enrichment Center. 3 days later, I woke up and I felt like I was over it. I mean, things can change like that for the better. I have been on the precipice so many times, boys and girls. I have almost jumped, but I say in my book, when you're on the edge of the abyss, don't jump. When you're going through hell, don't stop. It's absolutely true. Things can and do change when you need them. Keep writing and drawing. Maybe again, Miss Sarah. Bree 135. I've heard there is a connection between mental health and the gut. Yes. The stomach produces more serotonin than the brain. I'm actually going to do a video next called "Happy Gut, Happy Brain." Yes. You should be taking probiotics. Eat lots of fermented foods like kimchi and sauerkraut, and lots of fiber like beans, which then create prebiotics that cause probiotics. You need to go ahead and eat foods with fiber. And you don't need anything. I'm not giving medical advice. It has been written that foods with fiber and probiotics can lead to a healthy gut. And yes, they have done studies that there is a connection between the brain and the gut. Thank you, Bree, for bringing that up. Wow. Marine in Afghanistan, came home and couldn't cope with PTSD. He was so handsome and loved. Wow, I'm really sorry to hear that. Wow. Well, remember, everybody here, you are loved. If you ever feel like you're burnt to others, get that out of your head and reach out, or call, the National Suicide Helpline. Why do you have a P.O. box to avoid people taking a bite? No, I don't have a P.O. box, but I have a PayPal account. And if you wanted me to send me a check in the mail, I can give you an address, but the PayPal is usually the best. Anyway, what was I going to write down? I lost my train of thought. Oh, here it is. You guys, well, in America anyway, I don't know where it is in Britain, but in America, that's the National Suicide Prevention Helpline, 800-273-8255. And anytime anybody feels despairing, they should call that line, or your local crisis line. Hey, could one of you guys from America, Mike Bordner or Lazy Eye Ranch, does anybody here have a, well, you all have cell phones. Could you do me a favor? Could you call 800-273-8255 and ask them what the corresponding number is in Great Britain and the UK, if they can get through by using like a non-toll-free number, or if the UK has their own helpline. If somebody could call that number and ask, I'd really appreciate it. Any of you guys with a cell phone on you. It should be easier to remember. Yeah, well, you know what it is? It's actually 273. Okay, this will make it easier. UK Samaritan's number 116123. Is that what they do in the UK? Well, great. Arcade Cup from Green Bay. What do you think of the Golden State Warriors? That was a non sequitur, wasn't it? I love the Warriors. They swept the Cavaliers. Sorry, you people from the Midwest. Anyway, yeah, so 800-273-TALK. So Arcade Cup, much easier to remember. So, and you should write that down. Any of you should write that down because, we say in Oregon, if you don't like the weather, wait 15 minutes. Well, if you don't like how you're feeling, if you're feeling there's no hope, wait 15 minutes. The old saying, where there's life, there's hope. I mean, come on, people are so resilient. People have come back from horrible things. I had a girlfriend who was in an accident in 1976, before most of you were born. She broke every bone in her body. She was in the hospital 2 years, but eventually she recovered, and now she's completely back to normal. But boy, that was a long haul. But see what I mean about resilience? I have been so many times, as I said, on the end of the precipice. Hey, Joni. Could you bring my book, Healing from Depression, in whenever you get a chance? And where is Bruce the cat? The book, Healing from Depression, it must be out by the chair because I don't see it in here. Yes. The project is going very well, Rasmus. Thanks for asking. I'm going to be doing a presentation next month in July, and I'm going to write a book proposal for a book. Miss Sarah, got to head off for now, but I really did enjoy this live stream. Very open conversational. Miss Sarah, come back again and connect with Lazy Eye Ranch. Here's the book, Miss Sarah, before you go. Healing from Depression, a Body, Mind, Spirit Recovery Program. Check this out on Amazon. Yeah. So where is Bruce? Hey, Joan, is Bruce inside or outside? Ever since the weather started to get warmer in Oregon, he's been out like 80% of the time, so we may not be seeing him on future live chats, but I can always, show you some videos of him. What a character. Yeah, great. Lazy Eye Ranch and Miss Sarah, stay in contact. Lazy Eye Ranch, I know you're going through a lot of changes. You may have to sell, the ranch you're on, but remember, staying connected to other people is the #1 survival tool that you can use. And if you find people on this live chat to connect with, so be it. Your sister-in-law, anybody you can find. Incoming joke. Wow. Lazy Eye Ranch hotline 440-8457 UK local rate. Minicom. Wow. Where'd you get all these? Are these all from the UK Lazy Eye Ranch? Thank you for giving out those numbers for our friends in Great Britain. What about Joan? Maybe she could come on and tell us what it's like to live with a depressive. Oh yeah, right. Oh yeah, well, it's been tough, especially the times when I've been really on the edge. But you know, I couldn't have made it without Joan, and many people have their partners, their friends. We all need someone to hold us when we're feeling like there's no hope. Kimbo Barbie, hello. I don't think I've seen you here. Well, how about another joke? Somebody. Here's a funny one, written by a guy. If I had $1 for every woman who found me unattractive, they'd find me attractive. There you have it. They'd eventually find me attractive. How's that? If I had $1 for every woman who found me unattractive, they'd eventually find me attractive. Becky Bordner, okay, did not show. Resend must be blocked because I copied it. This marriage do not advise, but they listen. They stopped me killing myself after my life left on 12th of April. I am depressed. Any looking for help? This channel is a great resource. Thank you, Douglas. Well, have you looked at my video 1973 Hallmark called the #1 cause of depression, which is loss of a love? You've gone something very traumatic. You need to go ahead. You know, in Portland, we have divorce support groups. You could go to one of those groups, or you could go to a grief group. Find a group. My support groups are very, very helpful. You know, when you come together and you're with people, you know, who are going through the same thing you are, and you can identify with them, they can identify with you, you can give and receive support and ideas. It's wonderful. So see if you can find a group with people who have just broken up. That would be great. 1973 Hallmark, have you watched some of my videos? I hope so. Yeah, the Samaritan is very helpful research. People consider it taboo to talk about depression in India. What? How could you say that? How could people feel it's taboo to talk about depression? That's like it's taboo to talk about heart disease or cancer. That's insane. Well, maybe you could start helping that out by talking about it yourself. Sroth, Doug, what's the difference between therapy and advice resource videos you put on YouTube? Well, therapy is when you actually go to a person and you establish a relationship with them, a one-on-one relationship, and you have that quality time and they delve into your complexes and your neuroses and your pain and your past trauma. Your advice resources, you know, I mean, that's what YouTube is filled with. Just, you know, if you feel anxious, take a deep breath. That's not therapy. That's just a tool. That's people just teaching you tools to cope. Does that help, Srath? Lazy Eye Ranch says, I do need friends. Losing ranch is heartbreaking, mostly because I have to sell my goats. I lived on a... Oh, I have to sell them. I love them like my kids. Hey, that's a great joke. What'd the person say who raised goats? I love them like my kids. Well, thank you. You've given me a joke for Monday. How can I ever repay you? Anyway, I lived on a ranch, or a farm with goats, and I fell in love with goats. You know, I have the moon in Capricorn, the sign of the goat, or the mountain goat. So yes, goats are very cool animals. Do you have a steady remedy for an anxious pit in the stomach? Well, Julia, again, I can't dispense medical advice, but usually if you hold your stomach like this and put one hand on your stomach, one hand on your head, and do deep breathing, that should relax you. If it's anxiety, it might be something called gastritis. Maybe you want to go to a doctor and get ruled out any organic problems to make sure it's not just anxiety. My wife has gastritis, so, you know, so go to a doctor, check it out. If it's anxiety, my goodness, there are many people out there who treat anxiety, and all you have to just go is go to anxiety.net. I think that's a really good resource. It's in Australia. Yeah, there's amazing websites on anxiety that you can go to. Well, thanks for watching, Hallmark. I'm doing a new video tomorrow called Back from the Brink, where I interview a person who is going through a severe depression and recovered with the tools that we talk about here, support, medication, everything. It's inspiring to see people, you know, climbing out of the pit and going from a 0 out of 10 to a 6 out of 10 on the depression mood scale. All right, Becky Warner, psychiatrist, to his nurse, please just say we're very busy, stop, it's madhouse in here. I have no idea what that means, Becky, but you might be able to explain that to me. You mean the psychiatrist doesn't have the ability to talk to Mike directly, even though he's directing the treatment that Mike is doing? That sounds very bizarre. By the way, 40 minutes down, 20 minutes to go. Thank you all for being here. I have a sticker on my truck that says my kids are buttheads with a cute goat. I love it. I love it. Very nice. Well, maybe you can, I know. We know people in Portland, Oregon, the city, who have goats in their backyard and chickens, so maybe you can do that inside a urban setting. Brasman say, I have to say last week was miraculous. As soon as I got little hope, the depression crashed. My level of hope from finding my country is so vital. Anytime the hope is low, I'm suicidal. Yeah, well, I told you that the number 1 predictor of suicidality is hopelessness. I mean, that's just the way it is. So keep your hope alive, as Jesse Jackson used to say, African-American politician in America, whom a lot of people really like, including me. Keep hope alive is what he used to say. Nice, Becky. Nice, Lazy. I'm not quite sure what's nice, KSC Bailey. You skipped my question, sir? Well, I have a lot of them. Why don't you repeat it? Is it okay to exercise while taking antidepressants? I know it's a strange question, but I thought I'd ask anyways. Well, again, I'm not going to give medical advice, but exercise is something you should ask your doctor. But as far as I know, exercise is completely, you're not taking another medication. It is, unless your medical doctor says you can't exercise because of a weak heart or some medical condition, exercise is always good for your mood, whether or not you're taking antidepressants or not. Talk to your psychiatrist and your practitioner. I don't think they would find any problem with it. So my answer would be a tentative yes, but talk with your practitioner first. You're taking homeopathic remedy for rescue remedy for your depression, Amber's Patil. Well, rescue remedy is usually when you've had a trauma or an accident or you've been shocked by something. I've never heard it being used for treating depression. Are you doing it yourself, or are you doing it under the auspices of a homeopath? I'm just curious. Joe Douglas, really like the interview videos you do with your group members. Very relatable. Well, there's a new one coming up tomorrow. A gal named Jessica. I think hope you like them. Yeah, Bree, 1135. I think the exercise is cool. Again, I'm not going to say I'm giving advice, but everything I've read, all the literature tells me that they're not incompatible. Again, check with your practitioner first. You're taking it yourself? Well, I don't know. I won't comment on that. Well, how's it working anyway? Is rescue remedy helping with your depression? I'd be curious. It's not, it wasn't developed for that, but what he's talking about is a homeopathic remedy. Probably most of you have not heard of homeopathy, or you don't know what it is, but it's something that was created by a German guy named Samuel Hahnemann in the 1800s, where if you take a dose that causes a certain symptom, and a much smaller dose, it will cure that symptom. So belladonna causes people to be red and, it's inflamed in small doses, homeopaths say, and I mean microdoses, it helps. Anyway, it's a whole field of study. In America in the 1800s, it was the most common medicine practiced, much more so than allopathic medicine. But as allopathic medicine got more scientific and people got more power, the homeopaths kind of receded into the distance. But in India, there's still a lot of it practiced. So, Roth, yes, Doug, thank you. But shouldn't the therapist also provide the positive motivation in talking through and finding appropriate actions to take? Well, some therapists do that. You're talking more like a coach. A coach will do that. Some therapists are what are called non-directive. They just listen, go, And other therapists do provide motivation and give you structure. So, there are people out there, you may want to go around and interview some people and say, this is the kind of support I need, or, ask your therapist again. But there are people who practice that kind of therapy and counseling. So, Amber C. Patil, it's working fine. It's off now. Allopathic medicine gave me side effects. Well, yes, so regular antidepressants cause side effects in most people. Sometimes they go away, sometimes they don't, and you have to keep trying one until they don't have side effects. Right. Where's my water here? There you go. Ryan Murray. I like that name. Therapist to Father Christmas. It doesn't matter what other people think. What's important is that you believe in yourself. Well, that's a beautiful quote, but why did the therapist tell that to Father Christmas? I'm not quite sure, but That's good advice. Hey guys, we've got over 40 people watching. Thumbs up. Should I start singing again? Remember last time I started singing, I can see clearly now? Yeah, just have to figure out what I do with my cell phone. I wake up every morning to this song, and it's really a joy to wake up to it. I just have to now find it on YouTube. Came right up.
Are you enrolling in Medicare Part D for
Wow, we don't care.
need to save money? Walgreens can.
Here we go. This is what I listen to when I wake up in the morning. I can see clearly now, the rain has gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me back. Gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. What do you think? American Idol? Am I ready for American Idol? I am not ready because it's no longer on the air, I don't think. But anyway, isn't that a great song to wake up to? My bird is going to love this. One of his favorite songs. Do I support universal basic income? Yeah, I have a classmate, Richard Winfield, who ran in Georgia, and on that platform. Yes, I think it's very helpful. I think people do need a basic kind of net to survive. You just made my day. Thank you. The sad thing that is something out of my control. So anytime it can go up and down because immigration doesn't depend on me. That's right. But you know, try to realize that you know you do have some control over your reactions. But I understand. I'm going through a tough time externally too. So, you know, KIC Bailey, you've used homeopathic in rescue remedy. Yeah, I support Bernie Sanders. I know that. You know, hey, I think America should have completely given Medicare to everybody. Everybody over 65 like me who has Medicare really likes it. So, you know, we already have a single payer system in the United States. You know, I think we just need to expand it. But that's just my opinion. Very helpful. Well, thank you, Shrath. So does that answer your question, Bree1135? Lazy Ranch, yep. Deegan Bird is chirping and whistling along. Too cute. I better get it. Is anger a symptom of depression? Irritability can be, especially in bipolar disorder. I don't know if anger is, but usually irritability. Anger can be a symptom of many, many things, but oftentimes when people have a manic episode, it can include irritability and anger. So again, talk to your mental health therapist, talk to your prescriber, and ask him what's going on. Becky Moore, sorry here is again, psychiatrist says to his nurse, please say we're very busy. Oh, a madhouse. Okay, it's a joke. It's a joke. All right, thank you, Becky Bordner. I got it the second time. Appreciate it. That song reminds me of visiting my mom at the psychiatric house when a patient was playing that song. It was very poignant. Absolutely poignant. Well, I hope your mom made a recovery. Booty by Sarah. Wow, we haven't seen you. Mr. Douglas, I hope you're enjoying life. Good to see you. It does. Well, I thought that was helpful. Thank you, Bree. Anyway, should I play you another song I like? What is? Tell me another song that you guys like. That when you listen to it, you feel uplifted, you feel positive, you feel really great. God, the viewership went down so much for my singing. How about Here Comes the Sun by George Harrison? It's a good one. All right. So. Here's the back of my Healing from Depression book, right? This is to anybody who's feeling despairing and may want to do something to harm themselves. It says, if you're on the edge of the abyss, don't jump. If you're going through hell, don't stop. As long as you are breathing, there is hope. As long day falls night, there is hope. Nothing stays the same forever. Set the intention to heal. Reach out for support, and you will find help. And you can see my little image of the phoenix bird rising from the ashes. See, that is my symbol. That is my power animal, the phoenix bird. because every time I have crashed and burned, I have risen from the ashes. And people can do so. People do so all the time, but you have to be alive to do that. They said that suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Yes, there is no going back. Matter of fact, a very famous article in the New Yorker magazine called Jumpers, where they talked to a guy who jumped over the bridge, the Golden Gate Bridge, and as he cleared the railing, he thought to himself, everything that I thought in my life that was unfixable is fixable. Fortunately, he lived and got everything fixed. So people, people see that what they thought was unfixable is in fact fixable. Three Little Birds, Bob Marley. Oh yes, that's a cool song. Did you ever hear of Pure OCD? No, I haven't. Rise Like the Phoenix, yes. Coming in from the cold, Bob Marley. Bob Marley is amazing. I don't know what Jinx Joe is, but who knows? I know Lazy. Lazy Ranch, the mental health system is broken, long awaiting times are too expensive. Well, that's certainly in where you are. Awesome analogy. Can you type it in here, Doug? And what was the analogy that you're talking about? Please, Swath, please remind me what I just said. Any Bob Marley is good. Well, what about One Love? OCD without the compulsion, huh? Yeah, people can have I have obsessive thoughts all the time, but I don't do anything about them. Yeah, pure OCD, yes. That's right. You can be obsessed with things, but not have a compulsion to act on them. Absolutely. Wow, do I have a magic wand made with a phoenix feather like Harry Potter? I didn't know it was made from a phoenix feather. Send me one in the mail, why? I haven't heard from you in ages. Wow, you're one of the early live chatters. Yeah. Ride Out the Storm by George Nooks. Very good. Oh, the message in the back of my book? Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you send me an email and I'll email you the message. It's a long message. I want to answer people's questions. Go to yeah, it's also on my website. But here, douglasblog@gmail.com. Sroth, I would love to send it to you, but by the time I finish it here, I could hold it up and you could take a photo of it. What do you think of that idea? Jareki R, I'm depressed. I feel all the time. Is it normal? Yeah. Well, it's not normal to feel that, but it's a symptom of depression to feel fear all the time. Yeah. Bob, Damien Ziegler. Well, let's do One Love by by Bob Marley. What the heck, right? Oh, it came right up. My God.
You guys good?
We're awesome. We just want you to use our smartphones, which means he's still keep.
So tell me what you think of this song, guys. Bruce is doing really well. Which video Virtuous Woman is that message in? What do you think of One Love by Bob Marley, huh? Very nice. Yeah, I can. Started a new treatment that was hoping would work called TMS, but so far I'm worse. Yeah, well, I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, little Bob Marley. So yeah, guys. Sroth, if you email me, douglasblog@gmail.com, I will send you that whole thing. It's about 10 lines long, unless you want to take a picture of it. You know what I can do? I can type it after the live chat is over. I'll type it in there. What a great idea. When we go off the air in about 4 minutes, Then, with nobody needing to ask questions, I will go ahead and type the whole thing in that box, and you can read it. Just so hang in there. Virtuous Woman, prescription done last week. I'm not quite sure what you're talking about. Helps a little bit. It helps a little bit, doesn't it, for a while? Are you talking about exercise, Hallmark? I think you are. Yeah, well, exercise. Yeah, exercise always helps. For, it clears my head when I'm feeling low and helps with my anxiety. Beauty by Zara. From that time, I'm unable to control my intrusive thoughts, but they have gotten better with time. Wish I never saw that game. Everything was fine before that. I'm not quite sure the game you're talking about, Beauty by Zara, but got triggered by a game named Blue Whale and a video of a person jumping from a building due to it. Oh no, yeah, you got to be really careful what you expose yourself to. Oh, name of the illness, one Claire Lou. Okay, anyway, at any rate, yes, I'm sorry you got exposed to that video. We have to be very, very careful. We who are have depression and anxiety, we're very vulnerable. We have to really watch what we expose ourselves to because we are very impressionable. That's the word I'm using, impressionable. So just get up, expose yourself to Bob Marley, expose yourself to Jimmy, Johnny Cash. Expose yourself to uplifting, positive things. Don't watch dark movies or, listen to dark music because it can infiltrate your subconscious mind. You who are already, vulnerable to feeling, down, depressed. You who are basically, again, vulnerable to negative thoughts, to thoughts of despair, the thoughts of fear. We have to basically make sure that we surround ourselves with the light. That's all there is to it. And there is so much light in the world. Hey, guess what, guys? We live in yin and yang, up and down. There's so much light in the world, and there's so much darkness. So, where are we going to focus? Are we going to look towards the light, or get carried away and and get caught up in the darkness? There are many spiritual teachers. There's many wonderful people doing spiritual practice. I just went to a Buddhist talk yesterday, a Tibetan Buddhist talk. The guy was amazing. Talked about forgiveness. Talked about when people harm you, just know that it's not them, it's their confusion. Pray for the confusion. Don't try to get revenge. Very, very positive spiritual messages are being broadcast all around the world on YouTube and in person by people who are really holy beings. So focus on that. That will definitely help with your mood, I promise you. And how is Bruce? He's been in and out. He loves the warm weather, and he's just enjoying it like crazy. All right. What are we saying here? Watch Stephen King's what? Excuse me again. One Love, yes. Fun and inspiring. That was good. Watch Stephen King's The Shining and you'll feel better. You're just making a joke, one Clear. That's a scary film. Your view on optimism is awesome. Positive thoughts. I have a video called 8 Ways to Increase Optimism. You should take a look at it. Tom Anderson. I have something called hyper-awareness. I believe this started when I smoke weed. Yeah, bad anxiety attack. Yeah. Hypervigilance. Hyper-awareness. Lazy Eye Ranch says, I've avoided watching 13 Reasons Why on Netflix. They should take that off the show. Oh my God. Yeah, I found a cute show with Carol Burnett and children. It's adorable. Watch that instead. Yeah, they should take 13 Reasons Why off the air. It's inappropriate. OG, nice stream. Thank you. And you didn't say a word. Enda has been on there. Oh, they all came in at the end. How is Big No No? I had lunch with him 4 weeks ago. 30 days sober. Seems like he's doing great. I'm going to have lunch with him in a couple of weeks. This is a spiritual journey. That is what I remind myself whenever I feel myself slipping. Absolutely. If you reframe your journey as a spiritual journey, if you think about Joseph Campbell, who talked about the hero's journey, what does the hero do? The hero has to overcome tests and challenges. That's what makes him or her a hero or heroine. So in this life, it's not easy. M. Scott Peck said it's like a celestial boot camp. We have these obstacles, but we can surmount them with the help of our higher power and other people and all the wonderful tools. As I like to tell my group members, there's never been a better time to be mentally ill than 2018. Amen. Tom Anderson, this caused me to be overly aware of TJOT to the point that I became scared of having thoughts, but I'm in a much better place now. Thank you for sharing your help to us all. You're more than welcome, Tom Anderson. You said, ha ha ha, good. I don't know what you were ha-haing about. Do you believe religious people have less suicides than non-religious? Yeah, actually, there's less depression. I know about suicides, but there's a look at my book, week 9 of my book. There was a study done about people who have, spiritual religious views. Well, you can imagine that if you think there's a higher power or a benevolent universe or a loving God looking after you, you're going to feel a lot less despairing when you slip down into negativity. So yeah, but there are many people who don't believe in God who do just fine too. So it's not a prerequisite. But I think having a spiritual path and believing in a higher power is helpful. Absolutely. Look at, Bill Wilson could not have created Alcoholics Anonymous without it. Well, it's 1 hour, 1 minute, and 15 seconds. Thank you all for being here. Remember, I'm posting a new video tomorrow, Monday, called Back from the Brink, about a lady's journey from depression to wellness. And after I go off the air, I'm going to type in that phrase that Strath wanted about if you're going through hell, don't stop. You guys can look at it. In the meantime, you can continue to talk with yourselves for 10 minutes. I hope you enjoy this. And, I wish you the best in your mental health recovery. Do I believe religious people have less suicides? Yeah, I already answered that question. Thank you. And let's conclude with Razem Seyo says, I feel grateful when I think that maybe my soul chose this difficult path for my growth. Maybe if I were born in the right country, I wouldn't have grown. That's a very good way to look at it. What doesn't, kill us makes us stronger. And when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. All right, thanks everybody. See you next week. And remember to tune into my channel tomorrow.